Oh. Is that a shuriken? Wow. Vector. Vector, okay. 75! 25! Banshee's Whisper. Hey, what is up guys, GuitarRock here, welcome back to another Girls Frontline 2 video. Now let's talk about Vector, and hopefully, you guys are aware that this is going to be a big patch and there's plenty of new things that have been added in the game so far. Now the first things first, a lot of people have been asking me regarding getting the Vector skin fast, right? So you can basically access the new shop right here in the journey milestone section, right? So these are going to be the currency used to basically purchase Vector skin, alright? Battle decoration, as you can see, all you need to do is just do all of these things individually, alright? There's a lot of different requirements or achievements, right? So these are pretty much the achievement system. Now, I don't think there's a need to rush this. Obviously, if you want to, you can. But basically, it's just like if you play the game, you're just going to unlock it as time goes, right? So use 200 ultimate skills, deal 300 critical hits, all of these things, you do 10 million freeze damage, etc. As you play the game, you are just going to unlock all of these regardless, right? So it is going to basically record it and give you this currency. Now, this currency can be used in the glory store right here, which you can access from here as well. So the Vector skin is going to be this particular one, the outfit Molotov Bunny. It's going to cost 2,400, right? So that's going to be a little bit expensive. If you are trying to rush to get that skin first, then obviously just go all in and focus on that particular one. The rest of these are just mostly for decoration, alright? The exploration is pretty cool, the basic info core as well, and that is going to be the important ones. But other than that, for me, I'm personally going to try to get the skin first, right? Now with that, let's talk about Vector. So right now, you might be thinking what is going to be Vector's best in slot. Now Vector, again, she is a supporter and she's currently an SMG fire support. One of the best character in the game. So hopefully, if you are not pulling for Vector's weapon, right, which is going to be the weapon that you can use, right? So I still think that Banshee's Whisper is going to be something that I highly recommend. If you get Vector, I highly recommend you to get the weapon as well. I would probably prioritize the weapon over her V1. While her V1 is strong, you still have to gamble through and get through the 50-50. The weapon, it is a 75-25. So you have a higher chance to get it, right? That's something to consider, alright? Hopefully you guys are aware of that. Now obviously, if you don't have that particular weapon, next best option is going to be GuitarRock right here, right? This is going to be an SMG that belongs to Papasha, but ideally, you can basically use this as a next best option. Now, if you don't have any of these two, you can probably try to get her 4-star weapon, or you can even use this one as well. It's not too bad, but I would recommend GuitarRock. At least it makes sense. You can swap between both of them, right? Now, in terms of attachments, Burn Boost is going to be her best one. However, if you want to go with Phase Strike, it's not too bad. Right now, we do have this new particular system that we are able to do called the Extreme Calibration, right? Now, this is going to give you this particular bonus stats right here that you can consume, slightly, and this is going to basically use this particular thing which you can buy from the shops, right? There's a monthly shop and that stuff that you can obtain this from. Now those are going to be very, very expensive. Obviously you want to use this on the attachments with all the substats that you want, right? For her, obviously you want to go for crit rate, attack boost, and attack. For all the 3 pieces except for the muzzle here, you want to go for crit rate, crit damage, attack boost, and of course flat attack, right? So those are going to be what makes the most sense for her because she's a support attacker character. Now, like I mentioned previously, V1 is going to be her most ideal stopping point if you are going to get copies. Alright, it's going to give her this particular thing, overheat combustion against new effects. So her burn damage is going to be increased by 30%, and the number of all support attacks dealing burn damage is increased by 1. Now let's talk about Vector's best partner right now, which is Chongju. So ideally, if you don't have Chongju, there's just no reason for you to pull Vector. But most players are going to get Chongju, whether now or later on, because she is going to be a standard banner character. So right now, Chongju also gets a slight buff in her Neural Helix. If you go all the way to the right, there's this thing called the Neural Expansion Key, Ruin Gem. Now this is going to be a very, very important one. Damage dealt by action support is changed to burn damage. Basically, her action support now is going to do burn as opposed to regular physical damage. So damage dealt to targets with burn debuffs is increased by 15%. Again, this is definitely a must get. So make sure you guys prioritize this particular one. It is going to be very important in conjunction with Vector. This is going to improve Chongju's damage even more. So these two are pretty much going to be a pair. You are almost always going to use Vector alongside with Chongju and of course Shakri, right? Now for healers, ideally if you have Centauri C, you can go with that. But if you don't have Centauri C, you need a healer in the team, you can go with whoever first, right? Ksenia might work. Cheetah is going to be decent as well. Swami is not too bad of an option if you are running them in a team that you think you are going to require the shield and stuff. But ideally, those are going to be the prominent meta team until Kui Hua comes around. So that's going to be another burn character that's going to fit in the burn team. So let me equip this first. As you can see, that's going to be very, very important. Now with that, one more thing to keep in mind is going to be Vector's keys. Now I haven't built her fully yet because I'm running out of the materials to basically give them keys, the basic info core. But right now the priority I can recommend is going to be this particular one. It's going to be very, very important. Gains 3 points of conflictor index at the start of the battle. This is going to be one of the best thing that she can take advantage of, is to convert her conflictor index, to convert all her conflictance index into attack boost for her, right? So that's going to be very, very important. Now if you want to use her as a cleanser, very, very good against boss, then definitely this is going to be a very good one, right? Before the attack, cleanses 2 buffs from the enemy target. I do think that if you want to use a Vector as a cleanser, that's probably going to be better. So therefore you can basically switch out Chongju's key for something else so that you can do more damage, right? That can be an option depending on which one you want to go with. Both works, right? As long as you have a cleanser in your party. Now I do like this one as well, alright? The fixed key Florifittering Despair. This one is going to be before dealing damage to a large target with an active attack, deals 1 instant damage of fixed damage equal to 15% of attack. So if you want to make her a cleanser, then this is going to be a decent one. Now the last one is going to be this particular one, the fixed key Negative Motivation. Now enemy unit within range is inflicted with overburn, which you can easily do, right? Launches emergency support, and you can deal burn damage equal to 60% of attack and 1 point of stability damage. Now this can be very, very good, alright? You are just going to trigger this once per turn, but additional damage on her is not going to be a bad idea. So what is Vector's skill rotation, right? It's going to be very, very simple, very, very straightforward. You are going to constantly be pairing her with Chongju. Now, as for the rest of the character like Shakri or Centauri C, depending on who you have, obviously, these are going to be the best one for fire teams, right? Later on, we don't have Kui Hua yet. That's going to be another fire character that will come later from CN, but Papasha might be a decent option depending on who you are fighting. Now, if you are using Vector with Chongju's mod key, obviously the new expansion key like I mentioned earlier, you want to let Chongju go in with the ultimate skill first, right? That's going to make more sense. So that way when Vector attacks, your Chongju is going to be able to, right? You know, you're going to use ultimate skill first on Vector, alright? Boom. And then you're going to use skill 2, alright? So skill 1 or skill 2, I guess it depends, right? Ideally, most of the time, you're gonna use skill 2 first, and then that way your Chongju can support. Right here with the... Right there, you can see that burn damage right there. So that's that juicy burn damage is so that your Chongju is able to do that. This is going to be how it is, and then the rest of the characters go in, right, with their, you know, ultimate skill and stuff. But the thing is, it does depend on the boss as well, right? So if the boss has some sort of buff that you need to cleanse, and your Vector is the cleanser, then you might want to go with Vector to cleanse first, etc. But ideally, this is going to be how it is. You are usually going to use Chongju's ultimate skill first, and then let Vector go in usually second, and then the rest of the characters go in later on. So Chongju is pretty much just going to be spamming her ultimate throughout. It's a pretty simple and straightforward team to use, and I think this is like definitely way easier for a lot of new players as well. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it for this particular video. Hopefully you guys are able to get Vector. Definitely get her weapon, get her up to V1, and if you want to, V2 is also going to be pretty good, but I wouldn't recommend going beyond that, right? So that's going to be what it is. She's probably going to be the best fire support that we'll have until the end of the game's lifespan, if I'm going to be honest. So you are getting a lot of value out of her, right? I doubt there's another fire support that can replace her, but who knows? We'll see. We'll see how it is in the future. With that, that's gonna be it for now. Subscribe if you guys haven't already. Give this video a like, and let me know if you guys have any things you want to ask regarding the new patch in the comment section below. Have a nice day. Goodbye.